An opportunity to speak with a former NFL cornerback, a three-time Pro Bowler. He was the 7th overall pick in 2010 out of Florida, a national champion, 29 career INTs, couple of touchdowns. I'm joined right now by Joe Haden. Joe, it is so good to have you on the show. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Pleasure to be on.
It's great to have you on, Joe. So you had yourself a week now, right? Last week you signed a one-day contract to officially retire as a member of the Browns, and then you were honored by the team during Monday night's game with the Bengals. Can you take me back to Monday night? How emotional was that entire experience for you?
Oh, man, it was really emotional. It was great to be back in Cleveland. They showed so much love. I was a complimentary dog captain, so I got to go out there and break the guitar. So it was just a really good experience. I had my family out there, I had my kids, my mom, my dad, all my friends from out in Cleveland. And it's a lot of like staff members that were still there since I was there. So it was just a really, really, really good experience and a good way to cap my career out.
We're talking to Joe Haden. You know, Joe, you played at a really high level in Pittsburgh, too, and you also had a lot of relationships and a lot of fans in the Burgh. So why was it so important to retire as a Brown?
I think it was a little more important for me just because when I got drafted to Cleveland, I was 21 years old. I wasn't married. I didn't have any children. And I feel like I kind of grew up there. I got my second contract there. And it just was like, I grew up in Cleveland. I really embraced the city. I was going to all of the Cavs games, the Indians games. I just kind of was more embraced into the city, and I kind of grew up there. So no disrespect to Pittsburgh. I mean, it was amazing how I got released from Cleveland and went to Pittsburgh, and they embraced me too, being that I played for the opposing team. Like, you know, the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers, they really don't get along. So just getting that love from Cleveland and meant a lot to me. But me personally, that's kind of just where I grew up, and that's kind of where, you know what I'm saying, I felt like I became a man.
We're talking to Joe Haden. That really is a transition. Those two sides do not like each other at all. And if we have time, I'll get to that. But I want to ask you about Cleveland because I think personally, Joe, my experience, Cleveland gets a bad rap. That is a great town with great fans. And most of the people who kill Cleveland have never been to Cleveland. What do people outside the area need to know about Cleveland that don't know about Cleveland?
I would say that it's a nice city, man. It's developing really nice. The Cavs Stadium is beautiful. The Browns Stadium is beautiful. The Indians, my bad, the Commanders Stadium is beautiful. They have a lot of food. They have a lot of culture. The nightlife isn't bad. West 6th Street. So it's just the zoo is amazing. There's a lot of things you do with your kids. It's just that it's a spot that I was able to really, really get there, get on the floor, explore, and have a good time. And just a lot of good blue collar people, and a lot of great people that love their city, love football. And if you give them, you know what I'm saying, just show them. We didn't win too many games when I was there, but it was the effort. It was me being in the community that they really kind of, I think, respected. And I think that's kind of why we had such a good bond.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is, because there weren't a ton of wins, but they respected the effort. They respected your energy. They respected that you embraced them and that you gave back. Let me ask you, Joe, all great athletes, I always ask this question of great athletes. All great athletes want to leave the game on their own terms. But as you know, Joe, very few actually get to. Do you feel like you were able to?
I thought I really was, honestly. This whole offseason, I thought I was going to play one more season. I thought I at least had one more year left. I was training my butt off this whole offseason, like didn't miss a workout and was still doing my regimen. I didn't do OTAs. I was waiting for training camp, just waiting for the offer to go up. I was fortunate enough to play 12 years, make some good money, being able to save my money, have my family, have my house out here in LA. So it wasn't really I got my health. So it's kind of like, when I'm getting a minimum contracts of $1.5 million, like, am I really going to move my family from where we're at now when I know I can do other things? I have other avenues that I really like to do, other dreams I like to pursue. So it kind of hit me like, man, I love the game. I appreciate it. And I don't want to disrespect the game and not give it my all and feel like I'm the best version of myself. So I kind of made that decision to walk away. So I'm at peace with it, because my kids got the fam, but it definitely was a tough decision.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I like that a lot. I like that answer a lot. So, Joe, when you consider how strongly you felt about that team, how strongly you felt about the community, what did you think back in 2017 when they told you they were going to release you? What do you remember about that day? That had to have been a really challenging day.
That was kind of one of the first times where you really, really understand it is a business. I never thought I would be playing for a different team. And it was it's nothing that the coaches really could do. I mean, it's a management thing, you know what I'm saying? And you really realize and that you are kind of looked at as an asset. And if you don't, I was hurt a couple of years. So it was like, you're getting paid as a top performer and you're not performing. So they kind of looked at it as a dollar and cents thing. And it kind of hit me like, I was fully embraced in Cleveland, So, I mean, it just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks that, end of the day, this is a business. So you got to make sure you look at it as such.
Joe, that point you just made that in the last couple of years you were banged up, you weren't playing as much, and how it is, like your availability is your best ability. So then you go to Pittsburgh. I'm curious, because you weren't playing as much in your last couple of years in Cleveland, how critical was it to you to show your durability, your toughness, and that you played an additional 5 years and at a high level?
That was my main goal. I knew that whenever I'm on the field, I'm able to perform, and it wasn't like a speed thing. It wasn't like a athletic thing. It was a kind of just unfortunate sports hernia, couple just wear and tear on my groins from being able to play football that long. So I knew once I'm out there and I was going to train and get back to full speed, I was going to be good to go. So it was more just like a proving people wrong thing. And I kind of love the fact that, the Steelers, they still, even though the Browns let me go, they still signed me 3 years, $27 million, not even, not knowing what was up. So being able to go there and just prove myself right, be able to go to another Pro Bowl and just continue to play at a high level was something that I never wanted to be out there and people think I'm a liability.
I'll tell you what, Joe, I'm glad. If I waited long enough, I knew I'd find something that athletically you and I might have in common. You mentioned the sports hernia. I had a double hernia, and I didn't know what it was. And then I found out what it was, and I had surgery to have that thing repaired. In fact, both of them. Dude, I could not get out of bed. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why do I have to learn how to get out of bed again? It's no joke, is it?
Definitely. I had the same thing. I had the double sports hernia surgery. It is no joke.
Good, man. Finally, somebody to back me up on that. I'm glad. Listen, really quickly, I know you respected and loved your time in Pittsburgh. What was it like? I mean, that's also a storied franchise, great tradition, great defense. Looking back on your time in Pittsburgh, what was that like for you?
Man, I honestly loved it though. The coaching staff there's a lot of great vets that were there. Like I was there with the Pouncey, or my boy Pouncey that I played with at Florida, Big Ben, Cam Hayward. I was able to play with TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, just a bunch of just great players that love the game, are motivated to play at a high level. And then can't speak it highly enough about the Rooney family and the way that they run the organization. And then Coach Tomlin, man, I mean, just the leader of men, one of the best coaches I've ever played for. He's able to just get to you. He's able to talk to you and able to just get his point across very, very well.
I like it. All right, Joe. So like you said, it's time. You're with your family. You've got your kids. You feel great. What's the next thing? What's the next chapter of your life look like?
The next chapter right now, I'm doing a lot of golf. I'm doing a little bit of relaxing. I'm bringing my kids to school a little more often. But I'm definitely going to get into the commentating side. I'm definitely really, really interested in that. So I think next season you'll see me out a lot more often. I
like that. Really quickly, you said you're playing a lot of golf. How are you hitting them right now? And can you share what kind of tracks are you playing out here in Cali?
Man, I'm playing some good tracks. I'm a member actually at Lakeside, and I play Bel Air pretty often. Some of my friends are there, but I'm shooting around a good. I'm in the high 80s. I'm shooting around 86 to 89.
Hey, Joe, that's good. That's great. As we know, golf is the great equalizer. This is why people love it, dude. I don't care how great an NFL player you were, right? Golf is the great equalizer. Lakeside is a really nice track. That's a classic track, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, my goodness. It's amazing. The dudes there are amazing. The track is always amazing. The course is rolling amazing. So, it's just always a good time to be able to just get out. And that's right up the street from me. So just let me know if you play. I'll get you out there, too.
Yeah, man, I should have. I joined a lot of clubs over the years. I never got around to it, but I used to be in the 818. I've spent some time in Lakeside. That's a beautiful place. But I'll tell you what, I can get together with you for anything else except that. My man, former NFL cornerback, three-time Pro Bowler, a national champion, no less. Joe, so good to get caught up. You look great. You sound great. And I really do appreciate you. It's great to have you back on. Thanks so much for doing it.
My man, no problem. I'll see you soon.